Chapter 4. Activation of the 5 Elements Pearl. The color green represents the wood attribute of the spiritual root. In the martial Qi continent, there are 5 main spiritual roots: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Each cultivator starts with one main spiritual root, and only when they break through a bottleneck, there is a very low chance of developing a secondary spiritual root. Wu Hui wanted to return to his body, to exit his consciousness. He knew he was on Tianxing Mountain. Due to the turbulent emotions and the reverse flow of martial energy, he suffered backlash and was seriously injured. Now, his consciousness inexplicably found itself within his dantian, unaware of the situation outside. However, when he tried to retract his consciousness in the usual way, he found himself in a strange place. The surroundings were shrouded in mist, with a hazy and ethereal atmosphere, resembling a fairyland. What surprised Wu Hui even more was the appearance of a person in front of him, someone he had never seen before. This person wore a white robe, appearing to be around 30 years old, with a tall and straight figure like a pine tree. His face was clean-shaven, his gaze exuding dignity and an imposing aura that commanded respect, as if he possessed the power to rule the world. "Who are you?" Wu Hui was greatly astonished upon seeing the person. In his presence, Wu Hui felt the might of the heavens and the earth, as if all things in the world were under his control. "He, you finally arrived. As for who I am merely a remnant divine consciousness residing within the 5 Elements Pearl, and I am also your grandfather." The man looked at Wu Hui and smiled lightly. "Ah, my grandfather. Then what about my mother?" Wu Hui's heart shook. He hadn't expected this person to be his grandfather, and in Wu Hui's subconscious, there was not a trace of doubt. "I know what you want to say. Although you are my grandson, I cannot see you now, and your mother cannot see you either. This divine consciousness avatar is also what remained inside the 5 Elements Pearl from back then, and it will eventually dissipate. If you truly want to see your mother, you need to cultivate to the level of Martial Emperor at the very least to have a chance to find us," the man in white said as his solid figure gradually became illusory. "Martial Emperor? How is that possible?" Wu Hui was shocked, unable to contain himself. In the martial Qi continent, martial energy had thrived for countless years, forming a complete system. The 4 stages of heaven, earth, profound, and yellow were the foundation, and beyond the innate stage lay the realm of the powerful. Above the innate stage, there were innate martialists, martial masters, martial kings, martial emperors, martial venerables, martial saints, and the legendary realm of heaven and earth supreme saints. In New Sea City, the most powerful individuals were merely innate martialists. Even within the entire Tianfeng Empire, there were no martial emperors, let alone martial emperors. After reaching the innate stage, cultivation became increasingly difficult, and many people remained at the martialist level, unable to break through to martial masters. Moreover, there were even more practitioners who failed to break through to the innate stage. And now, from the mysterious words of his grandfather, Wu Hui learned that to see his mother, he would have to reach the level of martial emperor. It seemed like all hope of seeing his mother was shattered. Furthermore, the most crucial issue was his own constitution, which seemed. Now that you possess the 5 Elements constitution and have activated the 5 Elements Pearl using your refined blood, it may not be too difficult for you to reach the height of a martial emperor, the man in white said with a slight smile, observing Wu Hui's astonished expression. 5 Elements constitution. 5 Elements Pearl? So, the bead that my mother left for me is called the 5 Elements Pearl. Wu Hui looked at the man in white, claiming to be his grandfather, with confusion. "My consciousness entered this 5 Elements Pearl 15 years ago, brought here by your mother. For the past 15 years, I have been using the 5 Elements Pearl to constantly transform your body, hoping that someone with the 5 Elements constitution could possess and activate the 5 Elements Pearl, unveiling its secrets. Moreover, this person needed to have a blood relation to me. Finally, after 7 years of time, utilizing your cultivation of wood martial Qi and your refined blood, you have obtained the 5 Elements constitution. The five elements constitution was not meant to appear in this world, as the balance of the five elements was incomplete. It was only the incredibly mysterious and heaven-defying nature of the five elements pearl that I couldn't bear. It could only be activated by someone with the five elements constitution, the man explained. No wonder I couldn't break through the profound stage in the past 7 years. It was because of this five elements pearl. After hearing the man in white's explanation, Wu Hui finally understood why he had been unable to advance beyond the profound stage in the past 7 years. It was all because the man had been using his time to stimulate the five elements pearl. Regarding this heaven-defying treasure, Wu Hui felt both love and hate. The five elements pearl was the only token left by his mother, which he had always carried with him. However, it was also because of the five elements pearl that he hadn't made any progress in 7 years, enduring humiliation from other disciples and even burdening his father. What is the five elements constitution? Wu Hui didn't care about that. What he cared about was whether he could cultivate and advance now. Now that you have activated the five elements pearl, it will no longer absorb your wood martial qi, and naturally, you can resume your cultivation. As if understanding what Wu Hui was thinking, the man in white spoke. With the activation of the five elements pearl, my mission is also complete. From now on, you have to rely on yourself. After saying this, the man in white gradually faded until he disappeared completely. This chapter comes to an end. If you enjoy the works of Changfeng Book House, please follow, like, and bookmark. Your support is my motivation.